Hello everybody, hope you're all well. Richard Simons here. This video is going to be about a little trip I'm just about to make, going up to Scotland. So it's the week before Christmas now. The weather's horrendous, but we're about to go away for a few days up to Scotland. Bear in mind we live on the south coast of England, so we're going to go right length of the country and stay in a fairly remote area up in Scotland. The car at the moment is the Porsche Taycan 4S. Beautiful car, I absolutely love this car. It's such a comfortable long distance cruiser. Space for the family and all our luggage, hopefully. Just about to load the car up in the rain here and we'll get going. So in this video I'll just take the camera along, show you a few bits and pieces. We can look at kind of efficiency in worst case scenario, kind of loaded up, bad weather, cold conditions. What we do for charging solutions as well. So as we travel up and then around in Scotland, we're going to cover a fair few miles over the course of the next few days. Wouldn't surprise me if it adds up to a couple of thousand miles in the end. We'll see. We tend to do a lot of driving, we're going to do a lot of exploring and see what Scotland's like in the week before Christmas. So stick around. In the meantime, I'm going to go and load the car up in the rain. Typical English weather. Should be a bit snowier up in Scotland, I think, but on the south coast here we never really get snow, we just get cold and rain. So we drove 200 miles north and we're at the M6 at Stafford. I went to go to the Ionity charge at Stafford, but it was really busy, about 4 cars waiting because there's a couple of units down. But 5 miles up the road, there's a BP Pulse on the Stafford services northbound. And when I got here, all 4 of these are empty. They're down as 150 kilowatt chargers, but the Porsche was pulling 174 kilowatts out of it. So all good. And then there's a pretty big shop there to go and get some food and drink, which we've just done. So just finished eating, just booked a hotel to stay at later tonight. And I'm already at 94%. So this is me, the car's done quicker than me. So we've been here 37 minutes in the end by the time we did all that. So definitely time to unplug and move on. And I think next stop will now be Gretna Green. So that's the south coast of Scotland with just one stop of 37 minutes. Okay, so it's gone 11 now at night and we've just stopped off at Gretna Green services. So just whilst we're checking into the little hotel over there for a few hours sleep, I plugged the Taycan into the Ionity here. This can get quite busy, these Ionity, but this time of night obviously it's empty at the moment. Taycan, what a fantastic car. So that's just south coast of England into Scotland. Now at Gretna Green, we're just at one stop for 37 minutes. Got here at 9% and I wasn't hanging around. The roads were clear and the Taycan was doing what a Taycan does best, and that's high speed cruising. So yeah, just topping up now and I'm on 73% after 22 minutes. So I'll just leave that a few more minutes to go up to 90%. So probably about 30 minutes in total. I've got the Taycan into its energy battery saving charging mode, so it can charge over 250 kilowatts at chargers like these, but on that battery saving mode it peaks at 200 kilowatts, which is still really fast. But what it does there is if you're going to really brim it up to kind of 90%, actually it does that in pretty much the same amount of time. If you do the really fast charging, it's great for going like 10% to 55% in literally 9-10 minutes. With this, it's a little bit slower at that segment, but because it doesn't get so hot in the battery, it's better for the battery, but then it carries on the fast charging speed for quite a long time. So I'm at 75% state of charge here, and it's still pulling 100 kilowatts at the moment. So it really is just going to be a few more minutes, up to 90%, and then I'm going to go into bed and get some sleep. So then we'll carry on the journey up into Scotland further tomorrow. Hello everybody, welcome. So it's the morning of day 3 now, so let me give you a bit of an update. I was going to update you yesterday, last night, but it was raining, it was windy, it was snowing at times, so it wasn't the best footage. So it's a lovely morning on day 3 now, and this is our stay last night and for the next couple of nights. A lovely cabin, and look, this is Scotland, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. So let's just recap. The evening of Sunday, day 1, we drove up to Gretna Green, stayed there, And then yesterday we left Gretna Green. Of course, the car was charged from the night before, and we drove from Gretna Green up to Dumfries. We met some people and gave them a present and had a cup of tea. Then we went up to Glasgow Centre, where my dad lives, and we had lunch in central Glasgow. Looks like there's quite a few charging posts on the road there, by the way. It looks like some of them are even free to use with Charge Place Scotland free charging. But we didn't need to charge, so we had lunch and everything, left Glasgow about 4:30, and then drove northwest of there for a couple of hours past Loch Lomond, up to a fairly remote area. And as we turned off the main road, we had snow, and it was a few inches deep, and it had been melting a bit in a day and then sort of freezing again, so it was quite slippery. There were a couple of abandoned cars in there, and I sort of thought, okay, now we've come unstuck. Well done, Richard, for getting your family stuck in the snow in the Porsche. But nonetheless, the Porsche over here, 4S, four-wheel drive, lifted suspension. It did a fantastic job. We got up this road about 4 miles in very snowy and icy conditions. And here we are. So this is an amazing cabin we're staying in here. There's a working farm over there, and they've got a couple of these cabins, and I think they're building 2 more just over there. And the scenery is stunning. I'm going to put a link to this location down below because it is a superb location. It goes to show you can go out to the wilderness with an electric car, and they have electric car charging, which is how we found this place. Often the case. So if I go on booking.com, Airbnb or other accommodation booking websites, I look for the little tick box that says places with EV charging, and this is just such one of them. They do indeed have a couple of chargers over there for charging our electric car, and that means now we're going to head out for the day and do some sightseeing of this beautiful area. Hey, look at it, it's absolutely stunning. So we're not too far from Glencoe, so I think we'll head up that way, maybe down to Oban. I don't know, we'll wake it up as we go along, but a day of driving thanks to the EV chargers they got here, and thanks to Fiona and Tristan for a beautiful setup they've created here. It's absolutely wonderful, so I can highly recommend staying here if you want some true Scottish Highlands and weather, because it's raining, so I'm going to get out of the rain now. Speak to you later. Just look at this place, absolutely stunning, and it changes every couple of seconds. We've got the mountains, we've got the mist, the sun's coming through, you look around again and then it changes. Amazing roads, perfect car for it, it's just so good. So most of the time, last couple of days, I've been doing little trips from the cabin, so I haven't needed the public charge. However, let me tell you about Charge Place Scotland. So I've pre-registered on Charge Place Scotland, but it takes about 10 days to get the RFID card. So I didn't get that, it was too late before we went. So out of interest yesterday, I didn't need to charge, but I did try a place, so it wouldn't have done any harm to top up the charge over when we were in Oban. And I couldn't get it working, and off the app I had signal, but I pressed start charging and it wouldn't work. So I called Charge Place Scotland and they say, no, we have to start it manually, but if you have a card number we can do that. So you might think that you can just start connections from the app, but you can't. They can obviously connect remotely. The connection, I had a signal, the box has obviously got a signal from the control office for Charge Place Scotland, but nonetheless they wouldn't start the charge unless I had a card. Anyway, so I thought that's a bit annoying, so I've tried another couple of Charge Place Scotlands and they've all been the same. In fact, you have to call up. Basically, I've been to about 4 now just to try them, and none of them have been able to start from the app. They always say these are old units, you have to have an RFID card. So, okay, if you have applied for your RFID card, you can at least call them with your number. But on a couple of times I tried calling them just out of interest, no response for ages. I gave up on the phone call. So anyway, today we do need to charge whilst we're out and about, because we've gone a bit further afield today and we're in Aviemore. Now in Aviemore, there's a Charge Place Scotland right in the town centre, so alas, I plug in, it wouldn't connect from the app, I had to call them. After about 10 minutes on wait, I then had an answer. We tried rebooting the machine a couple of times, but it just didn't work. The CCS in Aviemore today does not work. So Charge Place Scotland so far I think has been really poor. I've heard good things, they've got quite a lot of chargers around. Anyway, in Aviemore, what I've done is come to a Tesla charger, and this is one of the Tesla superchargers where you can charge a non-Tesla. and plug straight in, and from my app just started in, it just works. I mean, that's what it should always be. In Aviemore there's also another public charger further down the end of town, but where the ChargePay Scotland ones just need to replace all the machines, just make sure they're working, and just make sure they just start from an app, or just do a card payment. It's just silly. I'm charging off this Tesla charger quite happily. Let's just check here. I'm charging at 70 kilowatts. Now, this car can obviously take well over 250 kilowatts. These should be 130 kilowatt chargers, so I would expect that. Now, these are 400 volt chargers, the Taycan's 800 volts, but if you have the optional DC fast charger, it should be able to pull the maximum from the charger, so I would expect over 100 kilowatts really at the moment, because this car does have that option on the Taycan. However, 70 kilowatts it is, that's fine. We want to go into the town and have a coffee and a bit of lunch anyway, so I'll keep an eye on the app of how well it's charged, and then come back and we're going to head off to the Cairngorm Mountains. Yeah, just a bit of a moan at ChargePay Scotland there. I was expecting good things and I've been disappointed every time so far. Good morning, it's the last day now, so it's Friday morning, nearly 10 o'clock, and we're just loading up the cars, we're checking out. Just a fantastic cabin, fantastic location. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it here. Glenorchy Farm, again, I'll put a link down below, highly recommend it. And if you've got an electric car, and if you've got dogs, it's perfect, such a great place. And in the actual working part of the farm over there, they had piglets born this week, so of course my daughter was made up with that. They're so cute. I'm going to check the car, check there's no pigs in the back of that car, because they're tiny little things, a couple of days old now. They were born, I think it was Wednesday. And so cute. The farmer Tristan and his wife Fiona thankfully let us hold the pigs and stuff like that, so cute. Anyway, one thing I just wanted to point out before I go is this little building just by the bridge over here. So there's a little bridge that goes down, and there's a river that runs down off these hills, as you can imagine. Now that building there has actually got a hydro power station in it. So water's flowing down through a pipe from up there, spinning a motor and generating electricity. So I'll show you a picture here. I was kind enough to be allowed to have a look inside it. And apparently that produces 90 kilowatts of power, kind of constantly. Apart from in the summer, if it gets really dry for a while, but pretty much constantly 90 kilowatts of power. So again, a solution to sustainable energy, hydro power, straight off of that. Electric car chargers, electric car, beautiful scenery, beautiful cabin, absolutely amazing. So right, it's a couple of minutes to 10, I've got to finish loading the car and get out of here. Unfortunately, we've got a long drive south now, back down to the coast. So forecast for rain, snow. It's windy, it's cold, so again, worst case scenario for range and efficiency and all that kind of thing. It's a long journey, so I won't be hanging around. We'll see how we get on. Back in the Porsche, and I've got one of my Christmas presents, one of the best accessories possible. Check this out. What do you think?
So tasteful.
Tasteful, isn't it? Yeah, so I hope to see every Porsche Taycan driver with one of these in very soon.
Thanks, seat presenter.
Right, let's get this on. The car went the other way then, and I was like, oh, I hope they can't see that.
The shame.
Oh God. It came back. It's now 10 to 3 in the afternoon, and it's the Friday before Christmas. The roads are going to be really busy. There's train strikes today as well, so we know the roads are going to be busy. And as we come out of Scotland, normally the first stop would be Gretna Green, the Ionity there. But those 4 chargers, they get really busy now. Gretna Green is putting in a whole load more chargers there, but I know they're notoriously busy at the best of times, and it's because people like with Porsche card like me, with a BMW, a Hyundai, Skoda, you will get preferable rates at Ionity, so they're the cheapest places. So they're always really busy now. So my key with the strategy heading back, as the traffic's bad anyway, is to avoid Ionity, basically. So we just come down past Glasgow in Hamilton. This is a Fastned charger site, and I'm using this because it avoids the Ionity at Gretna, and we can do a stint from here down to probably go to MFG in Chorley. So we've got about 190 miles from here. What we've just done is made the most opportunity. We're going to have a little McDonald's down the road. It's all full up. Just got back to the car. It's at 97%. Obviously the Porsche charges really quickly, so you have to really watch the time when you go and do other things. We're going to head off now down to down the M6. Hopefully the traffic's not too bad, and I think the next stop will be down towards Manchester, Chorley direction. We'll see how we go. So I'm normally the first to say that I ignore whatever the car plans for charging stops, but actually Taycan made a good suggestion, and that was to stop at the Porsche Centre South Lake, so it's, near the Lake District. That was quite a good suggestion because these are 350 kilowatt chargers, and with a Porsche charging card it is cheaper than say for example the MFG I was going to stop up just a bit further down the road, down there, another 150 kilowatt charger, so this is faster, and then you've got the facilities and the Porsche Centre toilets and such like to use, which are great. So it's now 5:20 in the afternoon, and I'm just finishing off the top-up charge here. I'm going up to about 90-95% because I want to go from here probably to Banbury now. I think the car suggesting stop at Porsche Centre Solihull, but I know that the Porsche Centre Solihull, the chargers are inside the gate, so once they close in about an hour's time, we won't be able to get in. So I'll probably roll on to Banbury, quick top up there for the last journey bit. Heading back. It's been pouring rain the whole time. It's just easing off a bit now, so hopefully that holds for the last bit of the journey. Okay, it's 9:15 in the evening and we're down in Banbury, and I've just stopped to the Osprey chargers here. The car's down to about 12%, something like that. So Osprey normally are quite expensive, £1 per kilowatt hour, but if you have a Porsche charging card, they're 31 pence per kilowatt hour, so they're actually then one of the cheapest again. So that's actually probably less than the Tesla chargers over here, probably half the price it would cost if I was in a Tesla to charge up. And these are 150 kilowatt chargers. I'm pulling about 118, 120. I don't know why it's not full 150, to be honest. Battery is pretty warm, but nonetheless, that's fine because I've still got to wait 10 minutes for my Pizza Hut takeaway pizza to be made. So that's about right, and then we'll finish the last leg of journey back home. So fairly straightforward. Oh yeah, the one thing I would say is the RFID on the Porsche charge card didn't seem to trigger the charger, so I had to go into the app to activate the charge. Not exactly end of the world, but then the numbers of the unit didn't quite match what was in the app, so it took a bit of figuring out. Wasted a couple of minutes there, which is just a bit of one of those annoying things. The RFID card should just work, or you should just plug in, it recognises the car on my Porsche account, and then it should work. But you know, that's what Tesla do really well, and get that sorted and straight out. But nonetheless, we're there, we are charging. This car's looking a bit dirty after many miles. What have we done now? 400 miles so far, and we've got about another 120 to go to get back, so that'd be about a 520 mile trip. Right, I'm going to go and see if my pizza's ready. It's bad, isn't it? I had McDonald's at lunchtime now. Pizza Hut for dinner. I'll have something healthy for tomorrow. And then it's Christmas Day after that, and that won't be healthy. But anyway, all right, speak to you in a bit. So it is Christmas Eve at just gone 11 at night, and we're back at home on the south coast, having covered 540 miles today. By the time we had a cup of tea with the owners of that amazing cabin in Scotland, and then we did a little bit of Christmas shopping and gift shopping before we left. We didn't leave the Highlands until about 12:30, but 11 o'clock we're back in south coast in Bournemouth. So bit of a day. And then since we left, so this is Friday, Christmas Eve as I film this, just about to go into Christmas Eve. We left on Sunday, so we've been away for 5 days and a bit. Sunday evening we left, late afternoon. In that time we've covered 1,544 miles, so we've put a few miles on this car, and what an amazing car this is. You know, I've been a fan of a Taycan. I can criticise things like the software and a few bits, but it's been a fantastic car for a journey like this. Great levels of comfort. You know, we fit all the family in, the dog in, all the luggage and everything for the week. And it's tackled snow, ice, torrential rain on the motorways. The Taycan is just a remarkable car because it's just got the level of ride comfort and refinement on motorways, which is so hard to beat. I mean, it's almost Mercedes S-Class ride comfort. It absorbs everything. It's so good. It's so comfortable. The seats are comfortable. The headlights, these Matrix headlights are amazing. They do a great job. And then when you go on the A roads of Scotland, you see some of those roads, you know, the steering feel and the sort of sporty side to this car can really come alive. I mean, I'm driving sensibly, I've got family in the car, but, you know, it's just a Jekyll and Hyde. It does a great job of everything. Every time we throw everything at it, including some of those slippery, snowy conditions. It's just bashed it off absolutely fine. Anything it needs is a wash. And we've still got to unload it, but I think we'll leave that for tomorrow morning. So what's worst case scenario for all the bad weather and not trying at all for efficiency? Well, I've managed 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour for the whole trip there. So yes, not the most efficient car. So that would work out to about 400 watt hours per mile and something per 100 kilometers that we'll put down below here. This has just been a great car for it. So that's the car. That's been a bit of an epic trip, that. And remember, by the way, yes, some of the public charging is a bit more expensive than what you'd pay at home, for example, especially if you've got like economy 7 tariffs type thing, cheap overnight charging. And I've got solar at work now, remember, so I actually get the charging is off the sun at work for free, sort of, apart from the cost of the solar, but you know what I mean, free for everything that goes in the car. So yes, sometimes the public charging, I can see the comments below, oh, my Passat would do 60 miles per gallon and would it cost the same or less and all that kind of thing. I do get that. But when I just do the commute to work next week, in January, that won't cost me anything, bet next to nothing, So it's on those long trips you do get a bit more, but the rest of the time it's cheaper. Even then, I think it all balances out well. I do recommend having a charging in the accommodation when you do go away, especially when it's more remote, something like that. But that's it for me for now. I'm going to go and have a shower, go to bed, and I look forward to making some more videos in the new year. So again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our videos. If you like our content and want to see more, don't forget to not only subscribe, but also hit the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any new videos as they're uploaded. Plus, we're also on Instagram, just look up R Simons or RSEV. We're on Facebook and Twitter. So lots of news, stories and things as we go on each one of those channels.